Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akian. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due. And this is just going to be some light commentary and my thoughts on this video. And the title of the video is "This is why people think Africans are stupid." And you see the thumbnail of the video is "Why do Africans have the lowest IQs in the world?" And the reason why people think Africans are stupid is because Africans have the lowest IQ when it comes to the race and IQ coefficient. Okay, and of course, is as we already know, this is false because IQ, intelligence quotient, is a pseudoscience. Okay, and let me get this right quick. The term IQ, and the term IQ is just the acronym for intelligence quotient. But like I'm saying, IQ is a pseudoscience and it goes back to eugenics, right? And I was doing some little research going into the whole idea of IQ and the history that it has in eugenics. And the thing about this whole race and IQ thing is that you won't really find the exact information they are looking for, which is the chart that shows the IQ um, by races. So which race has the higher IQ, which race has the lower IQ, and things like that. Then you can try to look it up on the Google, but it's not something that you'll easily find. And even if you do find, you'll find the ones that show. I didn't even find anything about IQ. I was finding mainly test scores in the US, right? And and so I'm not going to. And so you probably won't be seeing me open up any articles or go into any web pages or websites to get information. So I'm just going to have to just go through or do this video without any extra sources, mainly because I couldn't find any. So yeah, and that's the reason why this video was delayed. Because anyway, let's just go into it and get the so this is right here. An intelligence quotient is a total score derived from a set of standardized tests or subtests designed to assess human intelligence. The abbreviation IQ was coined by the psychologist William Stern for the German term intelligence quotient. His term used for a scoring method for intelligence tests at University of Breslau. He advocated in a 1912 book, right? And the person that is considered to be the father of IQ is William Stern, even though he was not the one that started the standardized test for IQ. The IQ test actually started in France, and I believe the man's name was God, it was the guy man did it, and I've forgotten his name, right? Yeah, Alfred Binet, and that's his name, and he was the first person to use actual, the idea of intelligence quotient and the idea of using tests to gauge intelligence. And he's actually a French person, right? But when you look into this IQ, I mean, you do your research on it, and I'll give you those names, of course. Alfred Binet, William Stern, Henry H. Goodard, and the like. You find that realistically, that IQ is based off eugenics, okay? Which, of course, if you already know what eugenics is basically what Esau's play in order to push white supremacy as the top, or that in order to push um, himself as the top desired genetic format. So that's your Aryan Caucasian format, blonde hair, blue eyes, and the pale skin. Which, of course, as you know, these are all recessive genes, okay? And what that means is that these are the these that they are genetic mutations that are caused from a lack of the proper genetic materials to make a let me just say to make a full human being, man. And that's even the scriptures tells you that Esau suffers from the plague of leprosy. Okay, that's why you see blonde hair, that's why you see blue eyes, that's why you see pale skin, and it's a real, you know marked to show us how foolish the people of this world are, and they have taken, recessive genes as a beauty standard, and even a standard for intelligence. Well, that is your first sign to show you how bullshit IQ is. Because if you go into the IQ by race, let me see if I can finally find it. Because thing is that if you actually try to Google it, right, I just thought I just usually do it. I just type in IQ by race and try to look through it to see what I want, to see what I can see. But before I do that, let's get some presets, because obviously you can't do a video, going into this without bringing out the word. You can't, not bring out the truth. So this is, hold on, okay, yeah, it is Job 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Right. And that is exactly what IQ is as well. And like I was saying, that's exactly what IQ is as well. It is a deceit that is set up by Esau Edom. But we know that this devil, right, Esau Edom is the father of lies, okay? And you see, really, all the standards that Esau has created for this kingdom, they are all based off lies and deception. And that's why, one of the things that I've been recently meditating on is that the standards that Esau Edom set up, right, that is not even worth following anymore, okay? That but rather you conform and you follow the standards of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And a lot of you jakes always get messed up by this. That's why you see jakes in the world, right? And of course, even jakes in this truth get messed up over the doctrine that's in the scriptures. Like case in point, this is the big one, even though it's not even really that big of a deal, the grape thing. And when a woman becomes a fool, or rather when a girl becomes a woman, right? Or the age of adulthood, not even talking about the age of consent, but that it is what it is, right? And different, there are other doctrines, but these are just the main ones. As I say, oh well, the great millstone, the apostles and the elders and the men of the great millstone are this and that. But these are the main ones, and the reason why is because you are following the standards of Esau Edom. That's the devil. And you're allowing him to set the standards for adulthood, allowing him to set the standards for crime and punishment in this kingdom. In the scriptures, you know what the punishment for the crime of grape is? Death. Okay. Well, in this kingdom, a rapist does like what, 10 years, 20 years, is out there again, being a complete demon, right? That's how Esau rose in this kingdom. But yet, and it shows you just how dumb a lot of the people of this kingdom are, because you can clearly see the miscarriage of justice in this kingdom. Wasn't it that a little while ago that Jake was put to death even after years of every of people just protesting and saying that he is innocent, that he shouldn't even be on the death row, or shouldn't even be slated for the death sentence. Nobody cared. Nobody cared, and he was still put to death. This is a kingdom that has no justice, but yet Jake is always so eager and quick to adopt the practices, the doctrines, the philosophies of Esau Edom, right? And then they look at us like we're the crazy ones. You niggas are you niggas are insane, man. If you think that anything that Esau has set up in this kingdom is in any way, shape, or form just, okay. So let me get this article from Forbes. And that's the thing, it's difficult to find these stats because they will never want to show you where it is or what it is. You'll always see, different statistics that when you open one site, you see one stat, you open another site, you see a different statistic, and it's more of a bell curve than an actual stat. And yeah, I have difficulty reading those. But let's get this. Why is African IQ so low compared to Asians and whites? And like I said, because the idea of IQ is based off eugenics, okay? And that's the main, because you can even look this up self, because the IQ gets its origins in eugenics. Usually, basically, the IQ, basically these IQ tests were used in, I think it was both France and Germany, and of course the US as well, as a way to sterilize people that were considered of lower intelligence. They were used by eugenicists to sterilize people that were considered lower intelligence, so that they could keep the population, right, of a certain average IQ, because the idea is, well, IQ has to be genetic. You are both your parents are smart, you got to be smart, so that kind of thing. And you know what? The basis of eugenics is basically Esau good, Jake bad. So keeping away as much of as much of the seed line of you Israelites, that's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians as much as possible. That's why this whole idea of eugenics was pushing that quote unquote white, quote unquote Aryan um race as the top of as basically the top and and basically as basically the top and the most desired genetic makeup, like, right? But let's continue reading now, going into genes and all that, which is of course isn't important, but the idea here is to expose the deceit of Esau Edom. Why is African IQ so low compared to Asians and whites? Originally appeared on Kiora, a place to gain and share knowledge, empowering people to learn from others and better understand the world. First disclaimer, there is no such thing as a biological race, which is of course false, but I've already done a video on this, and I think I'll upload it very soon. That, well, re- black is not a race, it's a freaking color. Okay, white is not a race, it's a color. Hispanic is not a race, it's a it's Hispanic is not a race, it is a it is a ethnic, it is a ethnicity categorized by language. So it's basically a language. Latin is not a race, it's a language as well. Asian is a continent. It's a whole look, man. But let's continue reading. First disclaimer, there is no such thing as a biological race. It is a social invention, but racism is very real. So that a people's health status tends to reflect the race to which they are perceived as belonging. For practical purposes, I write as if race is real to facilitate communication, but it is not. Yes, there are differences in measured IQ between various races, but what, if anything, do these differences mean? One cannot accurately and meaningfully compare scores of people with different experiences, health status, and educational opportunities. See the answer to why is Africa so low compared to Asians and whites below. If IQ tests are being used to compare individuals of wildly different backgrounds, then the variable of innate intelligence is not being tested in isolation. Instead, the scores will reflect some impossible to sort out combination of ability, differences in opportunity, and motivations, right? Brink Lindsay. Moreover, IQ is not a measure of inherited permanence unvarying intellectual potential. And this is just the whole thing going into something else, going into that. But the point basically is that IQ is not the actual science, right? It is pseudo scientific, okay, because it's not the actual measure of intelligence, right? So at the end of the day, just one of the other forms of deceits and tactics that Esau Edom uses in order to keep New Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians in that state of inferiority. So I just end the video right here. Nothing much else to say. So with that, once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Basham, Yahshai, Basham, Rakakwadash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom.